Hola, chicas. So I'm just going to review that homework that was due for today. And also, we'll go over like what I think you know what you're doing for today, but I'll just remind you at the end. So here we go. So for número uno, perdón, we want to say when I was little, and that would be cuando yo or cuando era pequeña. I would put the yo in there just because you have era for la usted too. So cuando yo era pequeña, or you can say cuando yo era niña too. Don't do both, obviously, but cuando yo era pequeña, cuando yo era niña. Hola, or you could say de niña. How about when I was 15, we would say yo tenía, cuando yo tenía 15 años. See, and pause this video whenever you need to, if I'm going too fast. We used to play with blocks. We would say jugábamos. Don't forget your accent on there. Jugábamos con bloques. My sister took naps every day. Mi hermana. Some people use echar, so you could say echaba or hacía, and that's siestas. Todos los días. Remember, todos los días is going to be your trigger for imperfect, saying that it was repeated. So she used to take naps, or she took naps. Yesterday it was raining and the weather was bad. Now we're going back into like a narration that we use. Remember, that's the first stage we use for imperfect. So we say ayer. Llover is to rain. Like you'd say llueve, llueve hoy, or llueve hoy. It's raining today because it's O to U E. So then for this, we would say ayer llovía. Y hacer mal tiempo, like hace mal tiempo, it's bad weather, but we would say hacía mal tiempo. It was 6 o'clock and it was windy. We would say, remember, we have to do eran because it's past 1. It would be era for just 1 o'clock. So in this case, we would say eran las 6. And you could say de la tarde or de la noche, or you could also just say PM. Eran las 6 PM or de la noche. Some people don't think it's noche until it's actually dark, and 6 o'clock would still be tarde for people when they're still like thinking about like lunch and not dinner. Y hace viento is like it's windy, but you would say hacía viento. And it was windy. Last week, so we'd say and this is more of a narration again. La semana pasada, dormía mucho. I was sleeping a lot. 2 weeks ago. So we have hace 2 semanas. Nevar is to snow. Like you would say nieva, it's snowing, but nevaba. And you could say frecuentemente o con frecuencia. Frecuentemente o con frecuencia. I used to watch Disney movies every day when I was a child. So you could say veía or miraba, either one. Películas de Disney. And then todos los días or cada día. So you could say todos los días or cada día. I want you to know both. Cuando, or let's put de niño or de niña in this case. My brother never got bad grades when he was in elementary school. So here we could say mi hermano nunca sacaba malas notas cuando estaba we could say in el elemental, or we can say cuando estaba en la primaria or la escuela primaria. As a child, my mother was blonde. We would say de niña or cuando era pequeña, mi mamá or mi madre, mi mami. Sometimes we say mami. Mi mamá era rubia. Soy rubia or eres rubia or soy morena is like for the hair. My friends and I always got along. Remember we say llevarse bien or llevarse mal, so we would say mis amigos y yo nos llevábamos. Whoops, llevábamos bien con todos or con todo el mundo. What's todo el mundo? Because we had that for our vocab last time. En la escuela. They used to play hide and seek as children. We could say ellos jugaban al escondite. Esconder is to hide, but al escondite de niños as children, because it's, and there will be different ways. That's not the only way, de niños. At that time, I did not like to share my, you could say en aquella época no me gustaba compartir is to share mis juguetes. His father usually flew kites in the park with all of his children. So you can say su padre. We can say usualmente or generalmente. Volar cometas en el parque con sus hijos. Con sus hijos. Sorry about the notifications here. All right. And then were you nice or mean when you were little? So remember, ser is more like characteristics. So you would say eras simpático or amable is kind. So simpático, simpática o antipática. Antipática cuando eras pequeña. Question. Did you used to have pets? So all we have to do is tener in the imperfect. So you would say tenías mascotas. What was your favorite series when you were little, when you were 7? ¿Cuál era tu serie de televisión favorita cuando tenías 7 años? Did you used to play checkers or chess with your family? So you can say jugabas. You don't need anything else but jugabas because this is telling you used to. The imperfect. Jugabas las damas, o ajedrez con tu familia. Right. And that's it. So now, as we talked about yesterday, you can work on that vocab. 2 different highlighters, foods that you like. Kind of mark on the top what you're doing. If you're doing yellow for foods that you like, me gustan, y another color for no me gustan. And then you want to do that translation at the end. And if you want to grab your project paper and kind of start looking at it, you aren't allowed, you have to write only in class because I don't want anyone using translators. So the only time you can work on your project is with me in the class, and you're handwriting it with a dictionary. So it's not done on a computer until the end. After you get your draft approved from me, then you can start putting it into the Story Jumper, but you have to get a signature on your paper first. That's how we do it. So we'll be working on our draft for the next couple classes up until the break. Okay, muchas gracias, chicas. Adiós.